Around a decade ago, whenever I first got into street photography, started shooting digital full time, I used to come to YouTube all the time to learn tips, tricks, what gear people are using, watch people's POVs when it came to street photography. And one thing that I noticed as I started to progress and get older and year by year is that a lot of the things that people put out there, 5 tips, 4 tips, 3 tips, 8 tips for street photography, for better street photography, 5 street photography accessories that you need, it was a lot of redundant stuff. And as I got older, I realized that a lot of things that were being preached on YouTube weren't necessarily things that I needed in the moment, or they were just things that I already mastered. So I wanted to make a video today talking to you about some street photography rules, some essentials, and some gear that may not be usually talked about. And when it comes to me, there are things that I think are hands down necessities, whether it's the ideals or it's the items that I'm going to be listing. I hope you guys enjoy this, so let's get right into it. So we're gonna start off with some of my street photography rules. We're gonna name 3 of them, and I think these will help people change their idea and their mindset when it comes to street photography, from beginning and being kind of shy out there to stepping out and owning who you are whenever you're on a photo walk. Rule number 1 for me when it comes to street photography is to take in the environment. And what I mean by this is learn your area. Where are people flocking to? What's the buzz about? What is the demeanor of everyone? Listen, there is a completely different demeanor if you've ever traveled in Seattle versus in San Antonio, Texas versus in New York City. Completely different demeanor, completely different people, completely different pace, and it's your job to actually document that pace. When you make this decision, your mindset completely changes and you start focusing on taking photos that are no longer just pleasing to the eye, aesthetically pleasing, will get a whole bunch of likes, but they're actually documenting things. A photography buddy of mine started once talking about, these photos that we're taking with the gentrification of San Antonio, Texas, with the gentrification of New York and Brooklyn and the area around Coney Island. In 5-10 years, there's no guarantee that a lot of the places, a lot of the people that are seen in our photos are actually going to be there. We are actually archiving historical events, places, people, etc. And when you start looking at that from that angle, things become completely different. Your world is broadened, it's horizoned, and so that's why it's important. Start taking in the environment. Focus on what people love. What are they going to? What is the place about? What is the mecca of this whole area? Whether it's a big city, a small city, you never know what you're documenting. You never know what kind of history you're writing with your camera. Rule number 2, and it kind of ties into number 1, it's better to just be a part of the party than trying to sneak in and out. And what I mean by this is there was a culture in street photography that was started maybe about 5 years ago, maybe even a decade ago, where a whole bunch of people were dressing like ninjas. You wanted to have a blackout camera, you wanted to be wearing all black or low profile stuff, you wanted to have a black bag, all these things so you couldn't be seen. And a lot of times that's fine, that's great. For a new photographer, that's fantastic. You can get you a longer telephoto length lens. You don't have to be up in the mix. You don't have to have people saying, hey, delete that. You don't have to have people in your face. You don't even have to be around people, period, if you get a long enough lens. But really, when street photography becomes more satisfying, in my opinion, is whenever you start joining the mix, going up to people, talking to them, taking photos that are quick, fast, in people's faces, not disrespectfully, literally in people's faces, but when you don't have to hide what you're doing, when you don't have to hide your craft, when you're in the middle of the groove and everything. Listen, if there's music playing, sing along to the music. You don't have to worry about being heard. If there's people dancing, dance along with them, go into the crowd. You don't have to worry about not being seen. One of the best things about street photography is you're able to document real life events and the way they happen. And if any of you have noticed, some of the best street photographers are people that interact with their subjects and interact with the world around them. Andre Wagner, Photo Dre, in my opinion, the best photographer alive, is a great example of this. You look at Andre Wagner's photos compared to other photographers, I'd say maybe 90% of photographers in the city of New York, and the expressions are different. The response is different whenever Andre Wagner's taking a photo. And I truly believe it's because for him, he's a part of the community he's in. He's a part of the situation. He's a part of the area, not because he lives there, not because he knows the people personally, but because he gives off an energy of, I'm not hiding, I'm right here, and I'm a friendly person. Listen, it pays to be friendly in street photography, and even more when it comes to capturing a great image, it pays to be a part of the party instead of trying to sneak in and out of it. Rule number 3, no options means no limits. What I mean by this is, listen, you guys, it's okay to shoot with just one lens during a photo walk. You don't have to bring 3 to 4 lenses. You don't have to bring a big camera bag. In fact, You can just bring one camera and one lens and have a successful photo walk. I know a lot of people think, well, then I need a zoom lens. You don't really need one. Well, I need a lens in case I need to take a street portrait. You don't really have to. Listen, there's beauty in every single type of art whenever it comes to different lenses and how they react to different subjects. You guys, a nice bokeh, blown out, compressed portrait is fantastic. But it doesn't mean that it's more beautiful than a nice wide 28mm portrait shot at f4. You don't have to bring all your gear. You don't need 2 bags. You don't need to have your giant Peak Design 30-liter backpack. You don't need to carry around all this stuff. Just bring one lens every once in a while. Having less is basically having more because you're pushing yourself past the limits that you originally saw in that lens. So no options really means no limits. So now we're moving on to my essentials. And this isn't the gear that I'm saying you have to buy. I'm just saying the stuff that I'm about to mention, you're probably gonna want it because it's gonna help you out big time. And as I explain it more, you're gonna understand why I highlighted these things. So essential number 1, listen, and everyone's gonna say no f***ing duh, but I just have to say, you need a good pair of shoes. Now these right here are my Karhus. These are the shoes that I actually rock whenever I'm doing street photography. Shout out to my boy Like Ali. These are the Fusion 2.0s. The reason why I like these shoes, they're comfy as hell. I don't roll my ankles. Even more, I'm a little bit flat foot because my foot's so damn big. I wear a size 13. Not only does Karhu have my size, but the shoe is comfortable even for me. Listen, as a street photographer, you're walking around for miles on end sometimes, and you don't want to be the kind of person that starts having foot problems, getting sore, getting chafed, whatever, when you're a mile away from your ride, from your car, from a bus station, from a train. I don't even know what you guys are doing. But regardless, get a nice pair of shoes. And that's why I got to shout out Karhu, the unofficial, official street photographer shoe of the world. These are a little bit dingy, kind of beat up because I wear these shits all the time. So shout out Karhu, get yourself a pair of nice shoes. I don't care if they're Roshis, I don't care if they're Adidas, I don't care if they're Karhu. Just get your feet something nice. Treat yourself, baby. Essential number 2 is pockets. Now this right here is basically the Stock Easy Special. It is a fisherman's vest, but in this you can actually put a whole bunch of stuff, whether it's lenses, you can literally fit batteries, your wallet, your phone. Even if it's not this, getting yourself a nice small camera bag is an essential. You really don't understand how annoying it is to have to carry everything in your pockets when you're walking around, especially when you're wearing some nice hoochie daddy shorts like I am very prone to. But this is something that I wear sometimes along with carrying a couple of small bags. I'm able to hold filters, like I said, batteries, cell phone, business cards, because sometimes whenever I'm in more affluent areas, it never fails that people want to come out and ask me, why'd you take a photo of that trash can? Who do you own that trash can? Something super duper weird. But yeah, this is just something that I think is very, very true. Hold change, hold cash, hold I don't really give a damn. Pockets, man. Get a vest, get a bag, something to hold your other junk into. Street photography, essential number 3 for me, I just gotta be honest, it's a cell phone. And I know to a lot of people that's not cool, that's not fantastic. This is an essential for me, for the main reason being that there's so much you can do with this that benefits you as a photographer. You wanna know when last light's gonna be and when golden hour starts? A phone has an app for that. You want to find out where directions are or how far away something is that you're about to walk to with a buddy? A phone is fantastic for that. You forgot where you parked your car? A phone is fantastic for that. You need to call the police because someone, I don't know, shanked you and took your money out of your back pocket. You need a phone for that. You need to videotape some wild ass shit that's happening so that you can post it on Twitter in the city of Cleveland.
I don't know where a nigga spinning right there in the middle of the street, so. Oh, shit, cook. Goddamn, oh, shit, soda, cook. Hey, cook, we got the goddamn miniature car here, so. Cook, that bitch running, oh, shit, he sliding that bitch out of cook. That bitch running off of 3 AAA batteries, so.
Your phone can handle that as well. Cell phone's just fantastic. Even if you're a creator, this is something that's great to carry around so you can record your shots before you take them. If you're going the Jason Kumberkoff from Grainy Days route or whatever and what have you, yeah, take your phone with you. Don't be the kind of person that leaves it around. Just put it in the back pocket or front pocket, put it in your bag pocket. I mean, just do anything, but always bring your phone. The last thing I'm gonna talk about is the gear. Again, I'm not saying you need to purchase these things, but this is stuff that just goes a little bit beyond a lot of the things that I've seen that actually help me, that I use every time I go out. And with that, you're gonna see some things that you may see as redundant, but I have specific reasons why I get the specific things that I want that help me with my photography, and I believe a lot of you will share these same sentiments. First thing, and I cannot recommend this enough, get you a Peak Design capture clip. It doesn't need to be the V3, it could be the V1, it could be the V2, it doesn't matter. But get you a Peak Design capture clip. Whether it's hanging on a bag, whether it's hanging off your belt, like I wear it a lot of times so I can wear a second camera, or I can have my Sony ZV-1 so I can get B-roll. This is a fantastic ass thing to have. It does more things than just benefit you for street photography. You can use it during weddings, you can use it during sporting events like I do. You can just use it just to look really cool if you were into the whole cell phone beeper, whatever it is on your hip pocket thing like I try to rock. This is a must have. It just makes taking cameras in and out, especially if you have a second one, you don't want to wear them around your neck. Super duper easy. I can't recommend this enough. Installation on everything is super simple. You just take these amazing screws off of it, like so, boom, slide that baby around, slide this baby under, and they have a whole bunch of accessories that this thing works with. It's lightweight, it's kind of cheap, especially coming from Peak Design, but if you even want cheaper, you can do something like I did and just wait to buy this on a Facebook Marketplace, wait to buy it on Reddit, wait to buy it on eBay for about 30 bucks, and that's if you get the V3. The Capture Clip V1 and V2, a lot cheaper than that, and I would probably recommend those more than this because they all do the exact same damn thing. This one's just a little bit more stealth. My number 2 street photography gear item is CPL filters. And shout out to my boy Leica Lee for putting me on this. People will tell you about Black Pro Mist filters. People will tell you about Tiffin Glimmer Glass. People will tell you about ND filters. But the real champ is CPL filters. They're so versatile. I love these. They change the game, so shout out to him. They do a great job of taking out unwanted glares out of water, out of glass, and even some unwanted reflections out of those two things as well, which, trust me, when you're shooting street is a huge benefit. This also has a benefit if you're shooting street in overhead daylight. This cuts about 1 stop of light off of your lens, so you're not having to bump up or compensate from speeding up your shutter speed, stopping down your aperture any more than you want to. You know, it's just, this right here is the real deal. I love this. This also does a great job of saturating your colors, especially whenever it comes to your skies or anything with landscapes. This gives you a little bit more pop. I love to pair this with my Voigtlander 21mm f4. And I also love to pair it with the Leica 50mm Summicron, because when you're shooting street and you're out and about, this right here helps out so much. And I can't begin to say exactly how much that it does, but when you put this on, you will see a difference with your images, especially if you're someone who lusts after nice, amazing blue skies with the contrast of those amazing white clouds in a cityscape. This is going to be the filter that you need. So number 2, I don't hear it talked about a lot, but it needs to. Give it its shine, give it its flowers. CPL filters. Shout out to my boy Leica Lee. My street photography gear item number 3 is invest in a small bag or a vest. I mean, it's very simple. You don't want to carry too much. You don't need a big ass Peak Design backpack. Leave the backpack at home. Invest in something tiny. Invest in something small. I have this right here, the $6 sling from IKEA. It fits a phone, a lens, my wallet, maybe some bubble gum if your breath is stank. That's great. I have this filled pouch from Peak Design. I don't know why we got this idea that someone wearing a black hat with a black scarf, with giant black sunglasses, with a black shirt, with black jeans, with black pants, and a big ass black backpack is stealth whenever it comes to walking around the middle of July in 105-degree weather, like no one was gonna see your ass when people are wearing sundresses, tank tops, and fucking white t-shirts. Who said that was stealth? And that's what I remember that all the time. That was the weirdest damn time of street photography, to where people thought you had to not be seen in order to create. Listen, don't do that. Just buy a bag. These little bags address one of the topics I talked about earlier of essentials in street photography, which is pockets. This gives you extra pockets to hold things. You can hold things like extra batteries, a lens, your phone, wallet, dog treats, business cards, photo of that one bug from SpongeBob that was eating a burger, filters, etc., etc., etc. Listen, leave the giant ass backpack at home. Invest in a small bag. Don't get a huge ass sling. Don't do any of that. Just invest in a small bag. You don't have to bring every lens you own. You don't have to bring half the lenses you own. You don't have to bring 6 batteries. It's not that serious. It's just street photography. Have some fun while doing it. I hope you guys enjoyed my bitching and ranting, and I hope it was helpful. And with that being said, take it light, but take it and have a good one.